Pero yung ano dun is, he's asking how does he make it like a corporation? How does it normally work? Ano yung mga steps na kailangan niyang gawin?
Actually, it's up to you. You don't necessarily have to make it a corporation. Depending on your purpose, do you want to remain as a self-employed individual or do you want to incorporate it? Now, why would anyone incorporate it? Because there are certain advantages of a business being in a corporation, one of which is for asset protection.
Okay, so isa-isay natin. If you want to just be self-employed, how does it normally go? How do you list it as a source of income for you that you get to declare naman yung mga nangyayari sa sa properties mo that you will get income from it?
Well, if you're self-employed, if you will have to register with the BIR as a self-employed professional earning business income. Then, of course, all these properties that you are renting out are automatically converted even before, basta at the time that you started renting it out, all these properties are now reclassified from being capital assets to ordinary assets. What does that mean? Meaning,
Hindi ko rin naiintindihan yun eh.
Diba?
Sige, please simplify it,
Yun.
especially for people who are not too well versed in taxes. Go.
So, ordinary assets are defined by the tax code as property which are used in business. Specifically, those which are part of your inventory, used for sale, or if we're talking about real estate, properties that are being leased out.
So pero magiging, since it won't be a corporation, it will still be under their name. Parang ganun yung
Yes.
mangyari, di ba? Okay, so what you're saying is basically it will be an inventory na under the, so para magiging single proprietorship sila. Is that what you're saying? Tumama ka doon, sumamit ka doon.
Yun. So, of course, single proprietorship siya lalabas. Tapos, yung rental income that you're earning will now have, lahat ng income mo doon will have to be included in your tax returns, in your income tax returns.
Okay.
Yun.
So,
And,
can you give a specific parang parallelism niya to a single proprietorship business para at least people can attach to it? Parang ano lang to, parang nagtayo lang ako ng food cart. Is it similar to that? Or
yes, exactly.
because
Because you're earning income.
so parang yung fishbowl nila yung property.
Kung magkano kinikita na rental, yun yung income mo. So you just have to declare that in your income tax return. Pero one thing you have to remember is yung lessees, yung mga umuupa, they have to withhold 5%
Okay.
ng withholding tax from the rental that they are paying you. And at the same time, since nagwi-withhold sila, they then have to issue you a certificate of tax withheld, which you can now use as a credit to your income taxes. So makikredit yun, yung 5% na yun.
Pero what does that mean? People who are leasing, they have to pay more. Parang ganun. Kasi may additional 5%.
Hindi, i-withhold nila yun from you. So, ibabawas sila
pero
yun sa rent.
So they have to file it. Sila magpa-file nun?
Yeah, they will be the ones to remit it to the
Okay.
BIR.
What if pero there's an additional step for the lessee. What if they don't remit it naman? What's gonna happen?
Liable naman sila to non-remittance of withholding
Pero
taxes.
hindi na yung problema ng pero what if yung nagre-rent is a foreigner na wala naman PIN also? Will there be any,
Pwede naman siya mag-apply.
pero will they be liable? Or if I'm a foreigner, parang hindi naman ako tatagal dito, 1 year lang ako dito, ba't ako mag-a-apply ng ganyan? Hindi na lang ako, or they have to really file for it also.
Well, that's the risk because that's the responsibility of the withholding agent,
Okay.
not the person who is leasing out their properties.
Okay, so ganun lang, you treat it like a normal single proprietorship business. Next, they want to do it as a corporation. What's the step for that?
Well, first step is to register a corporation. Either a regular corporation where you need at least 5 people, or the new animal that we have now, which is the one-person corporation.
Okay. Pero what kind of di ba whenever you start a corporation, they will ask what type of business are you starting? So what do you put? What kind of business should you make it set
Real
it to be?
estate rental.
Direct na kagad real estate
leasing.
rental, leasing business. Okay. Pero pag ganun, does it limit it na dapat yun lang talaga yung business na pwede nilang gawin?
Hindi
Or-
naman. Depends on kasi you're going to register a corporation,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So lalagyan mo doon, ano yung purpose or purposes ng corporation mo. So it's really up to you.
Now,
What purposes do you want to include?
Now, ito interesting, and this is what I asked you kanina. What if they have the condos na, okay? The condos are worth 10 million each. So how does it work? They register the corporation. So how do they actually make the corporation own the property itself?
Okay. Under Section 40 C2.
Ayan na, may mga section na. Pag may mga
Ayan na.
section na, legit na yan. Okay.
So under Section 40 C2 of the National Internal Revenue Code, when a property owner exchanges real property for shares of stock in a corporation, wherein the effect is they would be majority controlling stockholder, then such exchange would be a tax-free exchange.
Okay. So meaning, when they do that, kasi people have this impression that if I have the property, it goes to the corporation, I have to sell it to the corporation, hence there's parang sales tax attached.
Yes, there's supposedly.
So
Transaction deemed sale
that's not
dapat
the case. That's not the case pag ganun.
That's not the case because
Okay.
the law itself provides that it is tax-free.
Okay, so pero what are there specific forms that they need to follow, or do they just need to get an accountant or lawyer to make this possible, or can they do it themselves?
It's a contract. They would also, of course, they would need to draft a contract, parang deed of assignment,
Okay.
assigning it to the corporation, or barter, contract of barter.
Okay.
So of course, it's
So
ideal that a lawyer
They
prepares
need
it.
a lawyer na talaga for that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you can't really do it yourself unless
Unless you can.
okay,
But
they can naman.
It's risky.
Wag na lang.
Kasi you don't know the law. Baka nung lagay mo sa contract, di ba?
Okay. And then you said kanina na the condo's 10 million as long as the person who owns the property will put the majority sila, meaning 51% is owned by them.
Yeah, doon sa corporation na itatayo nila.
So they can put anyone else who's 49%? Not
Yeah, it's just like any other normal corporation. They can be a minority stockholder or nominal stockholder. Usually, family members yan. 1% lang or 1 share lang. Yung mga ganun.
okay. Very, very ops. Let's stop first. Whoa! Munti ka na. Oh, life insurance na yung topic pag ganyan. So, anyways, let's go back to what we were talking about.
Tumingin talaga sila,
Oo nga.
slow down sila.
Five.
Tumingin.
5 people. So you can sell, you can get half of it, then they get majority, you get majority, then the rest you can appoint it to anyone. You
Yes.
can appoint it to anyone else. Pero ano naman the implication nun? If you make it a corporation now, will you actually pay more? Is it as cost effective? Paano mo masasabi na better na mag-corporation ka as compared to putting everything under your name and then just list it as a single proprietorship?
Well, of course, when you put anything under a corporation, you have asset protection. Those assets will be protected because a corporation has separate juridical personality. Meaning, kung makasuhan yung corporation mo, your liability would only be up to the extent of your contribution to that corporation. If you have any other personal assets, all those other personal assets will be protected and will be shielded from any civil liability.
Okay, so, pero is there a number na, kunyari, meron na akong 5 condos, that's when I put it under a corporation, or if isa lang, wag na muna under my name, do you have like a set threshold na pwede nilang paglagyan?
Wala naman, there's no limit, there's no minimum.
Okay.
Maganda nga yung simula pa lang, you already put it in a corporation.
Pero
at
won't it
least
be parang
safe na siya.
hassle sa start to do it, tapos isa lang yung condo mo?
Well, yeah.
Isa lang yung property mo? Or at least scale na yung property mo is 100 million, that's when you start doing it? Or kahit yung property mo is 2 million pesos, pwede na i-corporation mo na kagad?
It's really up to you. Just like in investing, it depends upon your goals and your purposes. Let's say, at the start, you already intend to have a wide portfolio of assets, mga 10 or 20.
Okay.
Then you can already start incorporating upon your first acquisition of your first property.
So, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Pero, at the end of all of this, yung pinaka-goal mo is, if you are generating income from that rental property, you have to file. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so
Parang
either...
RFP, register, file, and pay.
Okay, so you have to register, file, and pay. Easiest steps for them to do is they go straight to the BIR to do it.
Yes.
Okay, so...
They get the TIN first, of course, and it's
Hindi,
online.
pero if they already have a current TIN, they can use that na lang, no? Tapos lalabas siya other sources of income. Pero he
Yeah.
was saying something doon sa question, pwede ba siyang ilagay na lang sa other sources of income?
If you have a main source of income, let's say you're an employee, you're earning purely compensation income, and you want to lease out properties para meron kang passive income, then you will no longer be eligible for substituted filing ng employer. So what would happen is, you now need to file your own income tax returns.
Okay.
And what you are now called, or what is termed as a mixed income earner.
Okay, pero yun nga, they don't have to create a new TIN already for it. It will just be under that parang current TIN na lang, yes?
Yes,
Parang ganun.
if you're an individual. If it's a corporation, the corporation will have its own TIN.
Okay, tapos with that also, paano siya makaklasify sa other sources if the main income is still higher than the other sources? Or paano pag dumating sa point yung rental property niya, 1 million niya, tapos yung sweldo lang niya, 800,000?
Doesn't matter. You
Doesn't
consolidate
matter.
the income.
So it can still be placed under other sources pa rin?
Yeah, you will consolidate all your income into that one tax return.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter which one is bigger.
Okay, so that's it. Any closing words for him? Or her? I can't remember the ano.
For him yata.
Yeah, okay. Anything that you would like to say to finalize this video?
Well, if you want to go into business, the best way to do it is to do it legally. Because problems would definitely crop up later, and from my experience, a lot of the cases that I'm handling right now stem from the fact that when they started business, they didn't do it right. Tapos ngayon malaki na, saka ngayon biglang stage 4 cancer na. So do it right the first time.
Alright, so that's it for now. Nakita mo, hinihingal ka ba dito?
Oo nga.
Lahat ng mga video ko, so lahat ng mga kasama ko naglalakad. So
Hinihingal
it's a
lahat.
good exercise. So I hope that answered your question on what are you supposed to do with your property. Not related to the stock market, but very, very pertinent and included in how you build your wealth properly. So this is Marvin.